Part 261. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2601. He knows exactly what the situation is now. This is not a situation I can stabilize. The landscape has changed. The changes made him feel unbelievable. Although I can't believe it, Gao Song, the Dean of the God of War Academy, and Shui Wanren, the Deputy Head of the Guangming Academy, are all in place at this moment. In addition, there is also a famous undead mentor, Tai Shujia. This wave of combinations is all for coming here to make decisions for Fang Fan. Take out a random person here, you can hang him 100 times. Under such a situation, if you should hold on to it, then you should hold on to it, and don't think about what you have or what you don't have. In general, even if you want to think about it, it will be useless, and you will only be able to sink yourself into it. Jude, captain of the Suanwu law enforcement team in the law enforcement hall, continued to smile awkwardly, wanting to settle the matter as soon as possible. He is too lazy to continue researching on this. It's time to end, let's end it all. Boy Fang Fan. You can go. Let's go. Xiangfei, let's go back. It's not proper to gossip in public. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, walked in front of Fang Fan, first said something to Fang Fan, and then stared helplessly at his precious daughter Xiangfei. This makes me angry once I see it. I'm just pissed off now. This can also play with the hammer. The brain is buzzing unconsciously, and the posture of gnashing teeth is gradually displayed to the fullest. The thoughts gather here, and the feeling in the heart is very real. Every time I see my precious daughter and this bastard Fang Fan together, I always have such a close attitude. Can't wait to blend into one. From the perspective of Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, seeing the little cabbage he has raised for so many years is like this, he will naturally feel something wrong. It's totally normal to want to have some emotions at this time. This feeling gathered in my heart, and everything gradually became extremely real. Father! Why are you so fierce to Fang Fan? You can't talk properly. Just know how to put on airs. Concubine Xiang muttered, and then complained from the side. Shui Wanren opened his mouth, inexplicably feeling that his inner world had collapsed. The daughter I have raised for so many years is really blind. That's it, that's it. This is completely taken astray. Now I feel my brain buzzing for no reason. The daughter's home is outside, it's true. It's okay, that's all. To this bastard, that's all I can say. Why don't you leave, boy? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, took a deep breath, then glared at Fang Fan and said. This can't go. I can't go yet. I was kidnapped here. At that time, the student Qiu Zhan said that he wanted his second uncle Jude to kill me. Jude, the captain of the Suanwu law enforcement team of the law enforcement hall, also said that as long as I come to the law enforcement hall, it is impossible to get out, and he also said that he will kill me directly. They deprived me of my freedom, maliciously attacked me personally, and caused me extremely heavy psychological trauma. I can't just let it go. And that student Qiu Zhan attacked me even though he occupied the training room of our first-year seed class. I had no choice but to choose to fight back, and took the huge risk of dying on the spot. It has to be explained. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2602. While Fang Fan was talking, he immediately held his head high and his chest high, with a proud posture. Of course there is no need to say more, but this gesture must be shown. This aspect is so real. Just to tell the truth, you were aggressive when you arrested people, but now you can't pretend to be indifferent when you release them, right? Hearing Fang Fan's words, The corner of Shui Wanren's mouth twitched subconsciously. Is this considered cheap or good looking? Now I have the opportunity to walk out of the law enforcement hall, but I don't want to. Shui Wanren's eyes sized Fang Fan Zhou up and down, and at this moment, some doubts suddenly arose in his heart. Did you make things worse on purpose? Then you were kidnapped and taken to the law enforcement hall on purpose? Just for this moment of blackmail? Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, was talking and then started to speculate. I was just thinking about it casually, but the more I think about it, the more I feel that this is the case. To say that other people may not have these messy ideas, but Fang Fan, it is definitely possible. This kid is too dark. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, took a deep breath, thinking to himself, the gnashing of teeth was vividly displayed. If it is really as he guessed, this kid's listlessness has reached a certain level. One said after another. In order to understand this trick, is he, Shui Wanren, also regarded as a tool man? Seeing the attitude of Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, the father-in-law he had planned, Fang Fan shrugged helplessly. As for thinking of me so much. Is this crazy idea true? Master Deputy Palace Master, it is not right for you to speak like that, you are giving me a second blow and trauma to my spirit. When I was brought to the law enforcement hall today, I have already suffered a huge damage to the spiritual world. This will even have a huge impact on my future cultivation. It's even possible that because of this trauma, I won't be able to improve my cultivation in the future. If it develops in a serious direction, it will even make me gradually develop in the direction of madness. Do you know that I will become a useless person like this? He was originally a high school student who was full of vigor, but he became a useless person in an instant. This is crueler than killing me. I'm thinking more about the tragic future, and I hope that the relevant people can comfort and compensate me spiritually. Is this reasonable? Master Deputy Palace Master, you said it, right. While talking, Fang Fan nodded in agreement and said. Anyway, the posture in all aspects is very real. This wave of gestures showed more and more smiles on his face. Now is the time to find more justification for yourself. Only in this way can we strive for the greatest benefit for ourselves to the greatest extent. This is what Fang Fan has been pursuing all along. In general, this wave of pursuit is quite real. After tossing back and forth for so long, if there is nothing, wouldn't I be blind for nothing? Okay. I'll shut up, and you don't need to say anything. I'm afraid that if you continue talking, you will blackmail me. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, had a dark face, curled his lips angrily, and then stood aside directly, with an attitude of not wanting to meddle. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2603. Fang Fan shrugged his shoulders. Why is he so virtuous? Every now and then, I will pick my picks. Fang Fan's eyes scanned the surrounding area, and then his eyes fixed on his cheap master Uncle G. Uncle G understands well what this precious apprentice wants to do. He, the master, will naturally help him to the end. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. You must have heard it too. Because the members of your law enforcing hall maliciously coerced my apprentice Fang Fan to come here, he was deeply traumatized. What should I do at this time? I think you should have a point. Captain Jude, right? You have to show it anyway. And what's your name for the boy who held a birthday party and made trouble? Qiuzhan. You maliciously seized the training room of the first-year seed class, and after my apprentice Fang Fan warned you, you still went your own way, and even wanted to kill my apprentice. You dare to touch my Uncle G's apprentice. He. What do you think I should do? Taishuji glanced at Qiuzhan, the young man in green. Glancing over with a glance, the young man in green Qiuzhan backed away in fright. Teacher grand uncle, calm down. This is just a misunderstanding. Teacher Taishu, calm down, we will definitely compensate Fangfan to the end. I hope you can name a number. Everyone is a student of the academy, so there is no need to make such an ugly scene. Do you think this is the reason? Qiu Wei, vice president of Ares Academy, nodded and bowed, forcing a flattering smile on his face while talking. This matter involves too many aspects. Now that even the deputy palace master has intervened, as the party at fault, Qiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, naturally has to show some gestures. You have a good attitude. Teacher, how much do you think should be paid? Any offer? Uncle G smiled silently with a proud face. Father. Obviously he broke my arms. Why? Why? Father. I'm not reconciled. Father. You can't do this. Father, haven't you always told me that I can do whatever I want in the academy, and I can mess with whoever I want? Why? Why? Your son's hands were chopped off. Are you indifferent? If you want to pay, he should pay me. I'm not reconciled. I'm not reconciled. Father. Revenge me. I don't want to wait any longer. As soon as I saw his arrogant smile, I couldn't help it. The green-clothed young man Qiuzhan's eyes had already turned blood red. His lips were trembling at this moment, and he was breathing heavily from his nose. Now this heart is too irritable. I can't wait to rush forward and take 2 bites viciously. He is the most miserable, okay. How come no one saw his injuries? When he first entered the school, his father said it in a high-sounding way, saying that no one in the school should be afraid, and he will bear it if anything happens. But now, how did it become like this? Ah! The green-clothed youth Qiuzhan became more unhappy, more disgusting, more and more wanting to explode. At this moment, the thoughts in my heart are fully exposed. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2604. Why is it your turn to speak here? Nizai. How many times have I told you? Don't make trouble. Shut up. Qiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, winked wildly at his son Qiuzhan, telling him to calm down now. What kind of enmity can be revenged to the end? Now that the dean of the God of War Academy and the deputy head of the Guangming Academy are here, what exactly do you want to do? I'm just the vice president of the God of War Academy of Guangming Academy, not even the dean. There is not only the dean, but also the deputy palace master. Speaking of which, this position is not too small, but after all, it is not as good as the sky. If you mess up things for me like this, sooner or later you'll make it up to me. When the time comes, will you feel comfortable after slapping your face? What's going on? At this moment, Qiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, only hopes that his unlucky son can know his good intentions. Now how much I hate you when I scold you, how vicious I am when I beat you, that means how deeply I can protect you. These are the real things at this moment. Is it useful to involve those who are not? It will only make the situation one-sided. But an unlucky son is an unlucky son after all. If it was so clear, the situation would not have deteriorated to this point. At this moment, Qiuzhan, the young man in green, only pays attention to his desolation and resentment. His arms are broken. Get pointed at. Now even my father is swearing at each other. But Fang Fan, the perpetrator, can get a large amount of compensation, and what kind of compensation for mental damage? Why? He is not reconciled. That's not how it works at all. How could it be like this? Shut up. Shut up. Today I just want to talk. What's the use of you as the vice president? Your son has been beaten up like this, and he's still begging for mercy. I know why you are so cowardly, isn't it because Dean Gaosong is here, and Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren is here? You want to show up in front of them and impress them. I know everything. Don't think I don't know anything. I'm just too lazy to say it. Chilling. Too chilling. Disgusting. Extremely disgusting. I vomited, I really vomited now. Why do you have to toss like this? Ah. Say it. What kind of trouble is going on? Hateful. Shameless you. You can't even protect your own son. How did you become a father? I want to sever the father-son relationship with you. I don't have your useless father. Qiuzhan, a young man in green clothes, is completely gone. Waving his non-existent hands, the mouth of the yoke roared, mouthfuls of froth flickering frantically at the corners of his mouth. Obviously this is caught in a kind of extreme anger. When this feeling of anger erupted completely, his complexion became extremely gloomy one after another. To put it bluntly, it is a righteous one who is righteous and confident. It has risen to the point of breaking off the relationship between father and son. The face of Qiu Wei, vice president of the God of War Academy, was as dark as water. He has been so patient. Silently enduring. But sooner or later, such patience will explode. Traitor. Roll. Snapped. Boom. Qiu Wei, vice president of the God of War Academy, slapped him with a big mouth first, and then kicked him out. As a father, it's really embarrassing to be abused by his own son to this extent. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2605. If it weren't for this cub born by him, Qiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, might not have been able to resist killing this young man in green with a hammer just now. Cough. Cough cough cough. Hit. Continue to hit. Hit to death. Isn't that all you can do? Others dare to beat me if they don't dare. Do you dare to fight Fang Fan? Do you dare to avenge me? Keep hitting me in the face. Come on. If you are really still angry, pull out the saber from your waist and poke at my heart. Come on. I'll give you a chance to curry favor. If you kill me, you can still get a good reputation for killing relatives righteously. Oh, by the way, your superiors can still reward you, and you can still have a prosperous career. How wonderful! Abandoning a son has satisfied your desire to be a dog. Do you know that you are like a dog now? The cheapest dog. Happy. Really happy. Ahahahaha. Qiuzhan, a young man in green clothes, has no taboos at this moment. If he says something disgusting, he can say it directly. Anyway, with such an attitude now, it seems quite arrogant in all aspects. It's an attitude of arrogance to the end. Who dares to follow the clamor, just go up and do it? As for the vice president of the God of War Academy, Qiu Wei, who has completely cracked. What kind of white-eyed wolf did this raise? Sin. This fight has also been fought, and said, this bastard has become more and more excited. Qiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, fell silent, and just stood there with such a cold face, without saying a word. As for that young man in green, Qiuzhan, he became more and more arrogant at the moment. Not coming. Scared. Cowardly. You should have said it earlier. I'll send you a call right now, but you don't want to call, so I'm leaving. You can continue to be a slave to others here. Qiuzhan, a young man in green, rolled his eyes, and then strode away towards the distance. It's exciting to watch a wave of drama. It's not in vain this time. You can still see such exciting pictures. This Chu Zhan is really crazy, to be so rude to his father. Crazy to the extreme. He didn't even think about it. Without his father, would he be able to gain a foothold in Guangming Academy? So stupid. It's still such a stiff relationship with my father at this time. Kisha breathed out a foul breath, and while talking, he immediately judged with deep conviction. From his point of view, this Chu Zhan is too retarded. This scene is quite exciting to watch, but why do I feel that there is something wrong in it? Why did this Chu Zhan suddenly go crazy? Is it really caused by stupidity? Bai Biao frowned, and while talking at the moment, the stunned expression on his face became more and more. Thoughts gathered here, and then he shook his head. Some things are really hard to see through. After this wave, people are inexplicably surprised and curious. This guy is not stupid at all. You actually played this trick in front of me. Interesting. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, suddenly sneered, and then ran straight to where the green-clothed youth Chu Zhan was. What should be done specifically? There should always be a charter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2606. Just walk away, what does it mean? Fang Fan sneered, then rushed up, and dragged the young man in green Chu Zhan back. The account between us hasn't been settled yet. Let's go now, it's not appropriate. In any case, we have to clarify the matter before we talk about it. Fang Fan smiled coldly, and while talking, he looked at the young man in green, Chu Zhan, with a smile on his face. The attitude shown in all aspects must be real. This attitude is very real. Say clearly. How to make it clear? You let me go. It is none of my business. I've already severed my father-son relationship with my father. What do you want from me? Do you want me to die? Roars came out from the mouth of the green-clothed youth Chu Zhan. As he spoke, his body trembled violently, and one could imagine how excited he was inside. While talking at the moment, the corners of his mouth were trembling violently. Needless to say, it's very calm with such a gesture anyway. What does your continuous severance of father-son relationship have to do with me? I'm not your father. What should be compensated to me, naturally must be compensated. Unless you die, people will die, I can understand. Just, do you dare to die? A sneer appeared on Fang Fan's face. While he was talking, his eyes immediately sized up the young man in green, Chu Zhan. At first, he also thought that Chu Zhan was really crazy, so crazy that he wanted to sever the father-son relationship with his father, and even uttered dirty words, directly cursing. But gradually, Fang Fan discovered some clues. Just like Bai Biao said, the speed of this transformation is a bit too fast. This seems to be very problematic. There are a lot of tricks in it, a lot. In the end, Fang Fan accidentally noticed that Chu Zhan, a young man in green clothes, had a strange smile on his mouth. He even exchanged glances with his father, Chu Wei, the dean of the God of War Academy. There is no so-called hatred and madness in the eyes that are looking at each other. On the contrary, it seems very calm. The so-called rivalry between father and son is all pretending. To put it bluntly, it's the father and son singing a double reed. I just want to fool this matter. They really thought that as long as things got serious, Fang Fan wouldn't continue to find fault. It can only be said that they are still too stupid. Some things are still unclear. Fang Fan stretched his waist, thinking to himself, his eyes flashed with a different kind of brilliance. Being stared at by Fang Fan all the time, the young man in green Chu Zhan seemed a little panicked. But at this moment, he can only forcefully support. Crazy ideas gathered in his mind, and the gesture of gnashing his teeth was vividly displayed. This time the thoughts are gathering, and the feeling of madness is suddenly erupting. You just want to kill me. I don't have a star core. I don't have anything. You let me die? Let me die. I, Qiuzhan, would rather commit suicide here than bow to you. I, Qiuzhan, have my own arrogance. I, Qiuzhan, stand firm. Qiuzhan, a young man in green, let out an angry roar, and the gesture of gnashing his teeth was vividly displayed. Speaking of which, this is really a very good actor. This acting skill is shown bit by bit. It's real and real. Just take a quick glance and you'll understand everything. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 2607. Qiuzhan, a young man in green, yelled, and then sacrificed a long sword from the storage ring. The arms that lost both hands were trembling, and they couldn't catch the long sword that fell on the ground. But trying again and again. Anyway, this will and gesture of seeking death is very real. Vice Palace Master. Although my son is stubborn, but he knows his mistake, and now he even wants to die, and I hope you will be magnanimous, forgive him. If he knew that training room number 5 was reserved for the seated class, he wouldn't dare to occupy it. It's all subordinates who have no way to teach their children. Vice Palace Master, I hope you will not be offended. My lord, Deputy Palace Master, my son has already wished for death, and he has a sincere attitude of admitting his mistakes. Qi Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, took a deep breath, and immediately stepped aside. Anyway, it's enough to show your attitude at this time, and you must show a pitiful look. The point is to highlight that his son already has the desire to die. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, frowned, feeling quite embarrassed at the moment. How can he deal with such a matter? This wave after wave, the sense of rhythm is too strong. Inexplicably, I feel my brain buzzing. At this moment, the thoughts are gathering, and the feeling is in place. Fang Fan. Although you are reasonable, since this Qiuzhan wants to die, shouldn't he also give in? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, frowned, and then continued. From his point of view, I still feel that there should be a thread in everything. See you in the future too. As it is right now, it's not easy to deal with. My lord, you don't really believe that he is willing to die, do you? Is this how you were fooled by him? No way. You're not really that simple, are you? This father and son are singing double reeds to fool you. The way the father and son broke up just now was to divert attention, to get Jin Chan out of her shell. Does he have the courage to die? Fang Fan smiled indifferently, then shrugged and followed suit. At this moment, he really wanted to take an unexpected look at the deputy palace master, but he didn't expect to be so innocent at this time. Hearing Fang Fan's complaints, the corner of Shui Wanren's mouth twitched. What the hell, they're messing around. The sense of rhythm of doing things is actually so strong. And bluntly say that I am simple. How the hell am I supposed to be your elder? From the point of view of concubine Xiang, it's still your father-in-law. You mess with me. If it wasn't for the need to maintain the image of the deputy palace master, at this moment, Shui Wanren, the deputy palace master of Guangming Academy, really wanted to slap his mouth. What's going on? But what Fang Fan said, he also became vigilant. Fang Fan said just now that the father and son Qi Wei and Qiuzhan were singing the oboe to fool him. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, frowned subconsciously. He couldn't listen to everything, but he couldn't stop listening. Moreover, Fang Fan, this bastard is indeed quite evil sometimes, maybe he really saw something tricky. If that's the case, it's really unbearable. Isn't this entertaining him? Shui Wanren was silently lost in thought. Clearly thinking about it comprehensively. Seeing Shui Wanren's gesture, Chiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, felt his heart skip a beat. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 2608. Master Deputy Palace Master, how dare I deceive and tease you? Master Deputy Palace Master, I understand Xiao's character. He has been stubborn since he was a child, and he was also spoiled by me, so sometimes he will really do some crazy things. My lord, Deputy Palace Master, please call it a stop, no matter what, save the child's life. Although he is a rebellious son, he is my flesh and blood after all. Vice Palace Chief, please trust me. I have always respected you very much. Vice Palace Master. Chiu Wei, Vice President of the God of War Academy, nodded and bowed as he spoke. He mainly wanted to settle this matter quickly in this way. Otherwise, who will be able to hold on to this wave of troubles? This brain is buzzing and bursting. Shui Wanren, Deputy Master of Guangming Academy, remained silent on the spot, did not speak directly, but turned his suspicious eyes to Fang Fan. Fang Fan stretched casually at this moment, and then looked at Qiu Zhan, a young man in green who was kneeling beside him and clamoring for suicide. Always shouting, never really doing anything. It just so happened that his hands were also broken, so he could use this excuse to pick up the long sword on the ground to cut himself. In fact, if you really want to kill yourself, there are too many ways. Is it difficult to control a sword on your neck with the sanctuary realm? Is it difficult, or do you simply not want to do it? To put it bluntly, it's still a show. Seeing the young man in green Qiu Zhan performing so hard, Fang Fan couldn't bear it. Immediately, Fang Fan took out his heaven-slashing sword sincerely, and placed it next to the neck of this young man in green, Qiu Zhan. Since you want to die, I will help you. I'll hold the sword for you, you only need to cut your neck on the blade with a little force, and you will die. If it really doesn't work, I'll hold a sword in my hand, and you charge over directly, and I'll give you a seppuku. If it's not enough, I still have a blood poison pill, which is colorless and odorless, and I will definitely die within 10 minutes after taking it. Oh, by the way, I still have the Sky Thunder Orb, which can inspire powerful lightning power. With your defensive power, you will definitely not be able to survive inside. This method of use is even simpler. You only need to step on it, and the Thunder Orb will explode after receiving this pressure. Which way of death do you want to choose? Tell me, I will help you. Can't you pick up the sword? Isn't it difficult for you to judge yourself? Now there are at least 4 or 5 ways to die, are you satisfied? While Fang Fan was talking, the smile on his face became more and more. This wave looks very pure. Just smiling like that, the smiling face was revealed. Devil. Qiu Zhan, a young man in green, muttered, gritted his teeth and spit out 2 words. Don't people know if it's difficult or not? I just want to show off, why expose me? It's hard for me too, okay. I just want to show my backbone and tenacity, why do I have to beat my face to the end? Qiu Zhan, a young man in green, licked his chapped lips, and now he was on the verge of riding a tiger. I, Qiu Zhan, have been rebellious and upright all my life. I, Qiu Zhan, will never beg for help in my life. I will never ask you to help me kill myself. Don't you want me to feel grateful to you? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Xu Yu. Chapter 2609. Good Guy. This looks pretty stubborn. It's just that this stubborn face is not very practical now. From all aspects, there is a feeling of being slapped in the face. Look. If you don't dare to die, then pay for the Star Core, and don't say anything unnecessary. Otherwise, let the law enforcement hall deal with it impartially. Seize the training room of the seed class. Intend to beat up the monitor of the first grade seed class. The intention is to delay the training of the entire first-year seed class, so that they will be defeated in the future school exchange competition. Finally, let the Dark Academy win perfectly. Looking at it this way, the problem here is obviously not that simple. It even involves the fact that you may be a spy of the Dark Academy or even the entire Dark Camp. If you don't investigate these clearly, absolutely not. There is also Captain Jude of the Suanwil Law Enforcement Team of the Law Enforcement Hall. Are you an accomplice? Have you already had these ideas? A comprehensive plan was launched early in the morning. In this way, the problem is indeed not small. While Fang Fan was talking, he nodded resolutely and said. As soon as Fang Fan's words came out, several people around were stunned. Is the situation really so corrupt? It feels like something is not quite right. What kind of trouble is this? Chiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, Jude, the captain of the Suanwil Law Enforcement Team of the Law Enforcement Hall, and Qiu Zhan, the young man in green, are each in a state of infinite confusion at the moment. Now he opened his mouth, and all his thoughts froze here, and he couldn't say many things. That kind of feeling, it seems very awkward. Pay. We pay for. Student Fang Fan, you make a price. No matter what the number, we are willing to accept. Chiu Wei, vice president of the God of War Academy, took a deep breath, and then silently shook his head. At this moment, there is no need to continue entanglement. Although Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, didn't say much from the beginning to the end, his attitude was relatively clear to a certain extent. Don't think about being slapped in the face this time around. I can't afford to lose that scumbag. I have suffered such a heavy mental shock, 100 billion low-grade star cores, isn't it too much? Fang Fan smiled indifferently, and while talking, his eyes shone with a different kind of brilliance. All kinds of ideas are gathered here, and the posture has been fully displayed. 100 billion. Why don't you grab it? You are blackmailing. I didn't do anything to you at all, it's you've been hurting me. I haven't even hurt a single hair of yours, but you cut off my hands. How can you do this, how can you do this? Green-clothed youth Qiu Zhan had bulging veins on his forehead, and he was gnashing his teeth vividly while talking. The feeling of endless complaints at this moment is vividly displayed. What is this all about? My brains exploded. So bullying. So what? You still want me to help you kill yourself? It's definitely no problem if you die. Didn't you clamor for suicide just now? If you are willing to cut yourself off, the rest will not be a big problem. Fang Fan nodded and said sincerely. After Fang Fan finished speaking, Qiu Zhan, the young man in green, just shut up. He just didn't dare to die. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2610. Following the silence of the young man in green Qiu Zhan, Chiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, and Jude, the captain of the Suanwil Law Enforcement Team of the Law Enforcement Hall, each took a step forward. They glanced at the position of Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy at the same time, thinking that if the deputy head could stop this rude request, then there would be a turning point for them. It's just that they focused on it for a long time, and Shui Wanren didn't even respond to it. At this moment, Chiu Wei, the vice president of the God of War Academy, and Jude, the captain of the Suanwil Law Enforcement Team, naturally know something. If you still can't see through it at this time, You are really stupid. Still kind of stupid. Sometimes reticence is also an attitude. It seems that the deputy palace master is still very supportive of his son-in-law Glongque. At least something can be shown from the current attitude. 100 billion low-grade star cores. Really, it's really a bit much. Student Fang Fan, can you take, just less for the sake of my vice president? I hope everyone will meet again in the future. Chiu Wei, vice president of the Ares Academy, licked his face, but said quite righteously. What is the meaning of this thought and words? Do you think I'm so stupid, or can't even see your little tricks? Fang Fan sighed silently, inexplicably feeling a little sad. On the surface, Chiu Wei, the vice president of the Ares Academy, looks honest, and reasonable, but Fang Fan already knows what he is like in essence. If we meet in the future, Vice President Chiu Wei will regard me as a thorn in my flesh, right? Since it's all like this, what's the point of me caring about what's there? 100 billion low-grade star cores, one of which is indispensable. Otherwise it's business. Tisk. It might be interesting then. Fang Fan looked calm, and didn't care about these things at all. If you can't get it right, just do it right away. What a big deal. Business. Chiu Wei, vice president of the God of War Academy, narrowed his eyes silently, then clenched his teeth secretly. If it's really a business, this matter really can't be done. The situation seemed too troublesome invisibly. First of all, his son Chiu Zhan can't handle the matter. If Fang Fan really continues to quarrel, the deputy palace master will take care of him, and his son will be expelled from Guangming Academy at least, or he may be left alone. Chiu Wei, vice president of the God of War Academy, fell into deep thought. Not only are there still these problems at this moment, but his younger brother Jude, who is the captain of the Suanwu law enforcement team, may also be deeply involved in it, and then he will give up this position. No. Absolutely not. Spending money to eliminate disasters, at least there is no risk. 100 billion is 100 billion. Give. We'll give it right away. At this moment, Chiu Wei, the vice president of the Ares Academy, can only smash his teeth and swallow it in his stomach. While talking at the moment, cold sweat broke out frantically on his forehead. The sense of despair and panic in my heart is especially real. Anyway, that's the attitude after all. 100 billion. Wipe. It happened again. Fang Fan boy, you are so lucky. Half the meeting, you can't take it all to yourself. Bai Piao took a deep breath, and then said excitedly.